Guys, Ben Schueren here. I'm coming to you today. I know it's a Tuesday, but I'm gonna do a college football preview show. So let's get it started. I'm pretty much gonna break down who I think is gonna win every major conference. Not including the Big East. Unfortunately, Big East has lost my star power for in my opinion for like their conference credibility. They don't have a team starting inside the top 25. I think that's pretty bad. Cincinnati, Louisville and Cincinnati are in the receiving votes, but I think that's pretty bad that they don't have at least one team in starting inside the top 25. But pretty much what I'm gonna do: break down the conferences, break down who I think is going to win every the conference championships and the national championship. So, uh, one of the biggest storylines, I think, besides the Penn State new the new chapter being started there after the whole Jerry Sandusky, Joe Paterno thing is, will the SEC continue its reign of terror? Now, in the preseason poll, Alabama and LSU are ranked no, 1 and 2, but I don't believe that's going to last because the SEC is going to be a very competitive conference this year, and I think it's going to be a 5-6 team tumble, which could allow some teams like USC, Oklahoma, to kind of slip in there, maybe even take it over. So, will the SEC's reign of terror continue this year? But again, Alabama's 1 and 2, Georgia's at 6, South Carolina's at 9, Arkansas is at 10, and then if you go down a little bit farther, you're gonna see Florida's at number 23 and Auburn's at 25. So the SEC is just going to be a pile up this year. I mean, LSU, uh, Alabama, obviously they play, but Arkansas is also in that division. And Arkansas, they lost to LSU and Alabama, but LSU and Alabama are going to take steps back. I don't think they're going to, both of them are going to go into the national championship. I don't even think one of them are going to go into the national championship. You know, I think my favorite for the national championship after last year was USC and Arkansas, and Bobby Petrino got that thing into that whole thing, and I think Arkansas is going to stay where they were at last year. Unfortunately, the cards were lining up for Arkansas. They've had teams in the past where their running game was good, but the passing wasn't there, like in 2007 when they had arguably the best backfield in the 2000s. I think another one was Alabama with Ingram and Richardson, but then when they had Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, they had such a good backfield that um gosh, what was his name? Casey Dick. He just couldn't come through in the passing game for the Art Razorbacks, and they just didn't have a good season. So they had the cards starting to align this year, but it's with Bobby Petrino out at coach. I just don't think Tyler Wilson's able to rebound like they did last year. I mean, they played some pretty good football against some teams, so. Other than that, let's see. We got South Carolina. I don't know. I think they're in the SEC East. South Carolina and Georgia are going to be the main factors in there, along with maybe Florida. I just don't think Florida's up there though. If they had John Brantley this year, I think maybe they'd be up there with South Carolina and Georgia, but I don't think it's their time this year. They still have some rebuilding. Their quarterback situation isn't that good with Driscoll. He didn't look that good last year when he played in for Brantley. In fact, they had to go to I forgot his name. Jacoby Ford. That's no, that was the Clemson wide receiver, but they had to go with the other back guy because Driscoll wasn't coming through for him. So SEC, I think in a pileup, I think it's still gonna be Arkansas. Arkansas just got the keys. I think they're gonna go through the schedule though with 2 losses. And the other division, it could be Georgia, Arkansas. It could be any 5 of them. I'm not sure about LSU, Alabama. But Alabama's gonna show their strengths. Their first game when they just pile and crush Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan, but I just know they're gonna get crushed against Alabama. Um, So, going on to the Big 12, going on to other championship contenders, I'm thinking it's USC and Oklahoma. I think they have a good shot to take over the train wreck that could be the SEC. There are going to be so many good teams in the SEC this year that they're just going to beat each other up so much that they're not going to be able to go into the national championship. I think, barring a slip up in the schedules, I think USC and Oklahoma are going to take it. Oklahoma, they have there's gonna be, 2, 3 contenders in the Big 12. Uh, with Oklahoma, Texas, and maybe West Virginia. TCU, I don't think has a strong enough team to contend. They've been playing well in the Mountain West. This is stepping up to the Big 12. The Big 12, obviously, it's not the best conference in the nation, but it's still a respectable conference where you have 2, 3 good teams. However, I do think West Virginia's going to ride high off the momentum of crushing Clemson in the Orange Bowl 70-33, I believe. They won by 40 points. Tavon Austin, Geno Smith is back. They looked really good against LSU last year. I think West Virginia may come up. They're going to be the dark horse in the Big 12. Yet Texas, who David Ashton, Case McCoy, they gotta get that. If they can get that quarterback dispute settled out, they have good rushing. They have one of the best rushing core in the country with Malcolm Brown, uh, and Fozzie. Gosh, I forgot his last name, but with Fozzie over there at Texas. I think they're going to be a pretty good team to mess with too. So, Big 12 could also have some loopholes, but going on to the Pac 12, one team's just going to stand out. I think they're going to trump. They're going to go to the national championship. They may even win. I think it's going to be USC. Oregon's ranked 5th in the USA Today poll. I have it pulled up, but in the preseason poll, but they are overrated. They've lost their two key component offensive guys and LaMichael James and I forgot Darren Thomas. I mean, yes, Kenyon Barner is still there. He's a good backup guy, which made Oregon a good rushing core. But Oregon, they don't have the running quarterback this year. Uh, they have their with who is it Thomas. They have or I forget who their wideout is. They had a wideout come through last year, but I just don't think it's in the cards for Oregon to come through this year. They've lost so much key guys to in the offense, and they had the running quarterback, the good running back. I just don't think it's there for Oregon. I think they may come through. They may have a 10 win season, but uh that's what I think they're gonna get. And Stanford's gonna let a lot of people down. I think they're gonna win 9, 8 games max because Andrew Luck carried that offense. They got the recruiting of Barry Sanders Jr., but Andrew Luck just pretty much he carried that offense single handedly. So I just don't think it's gonna be there. Stanford's not gonna be there either. Moving on to the Big Ten. Big Ten, it's a pile up for me. I'm anxious to see what's gonna happen. Wisconsin lost Russell Wilson. Someone said that they got a transfer quarterback, but I don't know if Wisconsin's going to be there this year. Monty Ball is going to lead them. I think they may get to the Big Ten championship game just because Monty Ball is so good. And I think with Penn State and Ohio State not being eligible, Penn State, they were looking pretty good for the next year until that Sandusky stuff came out. I think they had a chance to make the Big Ten championship game this year. Obviously, they lost their leading rusher, Silas Shred, which brings up another point to the USC. They have a running back to go with Woods over there as the wide receiver, so Barkley's gonna have some weapons. But and then they lost their second wide receiver, their tall, big wide receiver to Oklahoma. That's huge for them. After I don't know if Kenny Britt, I don't know that guy plays for the Titans, but whoever the other guy who was at Oklahoma, I don't know if he's there. I know Broyles is playing for the Lions now, but Broyles left, so Penn State's falling apart. They're not gonna be good. Ohio State, I think they're gonna have a rebound season. They're gonna win 9, maybe 10 games. But I hate to say this, but I think it's Michigan's year to win this. Michigan, Nebraska, I don't know about Michigan State. Michigan State, they lost all their wide receivers. Their good running back, their quarterback. They're gonna get a letdown. I'm not saying this because I hate Michigan State. I think they will get 8 wins though this year. They've established themselves as a good football team. Enough where they're solid recruiting wise, but I just don't think it's gonna be happening for Michigan State this year. I think Michigan goes and wins the Big Ten, and I don't know what they're gonna do out there. ACC, Clemson, Virginia Tech. I see the matchup, the redo of the matchup. Although Clemson, I think they will lose to Auburn on their first game of the season. Clemson still has they're gonna be stymied a little bit with losing Watkins for 2 games after the marijuana charges, but um I still think they're gonna be so good. I don't think they'll win against Auburn because outside of Watkins, yes they have Andre Ellington for his senior year, which will help Taj Boyd out. But you know, uh, Mike Bellamy transferred. That gave the second running back. Bellamy was gonna be pretty good running back. He transferred because I think he got in somewhat trouble or he's academically ineligible. But uh, I just don't think Taj Boyd can go with just Allen. Yes, they have DeAndre Hopkins. But I just don't think he's such a strong enough wide receiver that he's going to carry that team into the um you know get them an undefeated season. I think Virginia Tech they're looking good. Though David Wilson, Danny Coles, I think they were seniors. They left, but Virginia Tech's gonna look good. But I think I will take Clemson again. Though I actually retract that. I'm going to take Virginia Tech because Clemson just can't have backup 2 years in a row. They can't be solid for 2 years in a row. But with that said, I'm picking for my national championship as of right now. Um, in the preseason, I just don't think Alabama rushing wise is going to be there. The passing game's all not all that good. LSU, their defense is spectacular. Both defenses are spectacular, but their offenses aren't strong enough. Even though they did get Rob Bolden, who will probably start for LSU, but uh I just gotta go with Oklahoma and USC. Landry Jones is there for Oklahoma. They've gotten the recruits, the receiving there. Jones is such a force. Plus, they have their backup quarterback, such a force. He's a Tim Tebow like structure. I just gotta think it's gonna be Oklahoma in USC, but I think USC is gonna win. USC is finally rebuilding. Matt Barkley had to wait till his senior year to come and get to go into a bowl game. I think he's gonna back it up. I think it's going to be USC as the national championship. Gonna win the national championship. That's gonna wrap it up, guys. College football, I'm going to pick it up probably around the first week, the week before. I'll go through the matchups, but tomorrow I'll be posting an NASCAR podcast. Big news of Dodge leaving and that the sport. I'll cover that tomorrow, and well, I guess I'll see you later.